Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is July 27th, 2023. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. It's a Thursday. We're rocking, we're rolling. Let's see here. Anything to really report? I had my pasta. I more or less like to call it pasta bolognese. I don't know if that's really right to say because it doesn't have necessarily all the ingredients, but essentially that's my shorthand for just red pasta. I don't know. When everyone asks me what kind of pasta I make, that's what I make with elbow macaroni. I just feel like that is, and here's my reasoning for the elbow mac, is it is easy to pour a cup of that and then just put it in. And, as I started my journey in terms of like cooking for myself, how I liked it. Initially, I started with spaghetti. That was nice. I gotta say, anti-angel hair, not for me. But I did like other, long straight noodles like that. And I would, try them, and I'd always have so much hassle cooking with them, I felt like. But especially with the portioning, my portioning was out of control. I didn't know how to what is the right bundle. So it just became easier to just be like, oh, cup of noodles, cup of elbow mac. That'll be perfect for a bowl size of noodles. We're good to go. So I did that. I have this weird thing. Instead of making garlic bread, I do a bagel with cream cheese and like the everything seasoning. And then I do toast and I add cheese to like both on top, mozzarella cheese. Mozzarella on everything, actually, pasta included, of course. So that was my meal, and it was also with a salad. There you go, a little healthy, a little turkey on that thing. But yeah, it was good. Yummy meal. Those are pretty staple. Every once in a while, I do like to drop them, let you know what I eat. Try to keep it humming along with the food corner. But yeah, today was good. Vibes were positive. We actually got a nice little work shirt, and it was like a little pride shirt. I thought that was really cute. And in like the middle of the shirt, it was a gray shirt. It had pride, like gray letters. But then I think it had has this little ampersand in there, and it's like all the colors, like trans flag, all that. So I was like, okay, look at us being inclusive. We love to see it. So that's a nice little shirt. Plus, I just love free shirts. Like, I've had a coworker before. We were kind of all sitting around shooting the shit, and they said, I hate all these work shirts. I'll never wear them. I never want to. They're just ridiculous. Why would I want to be a big old advertisement? And I said, you know what? I do get you on the advertisement thing. That's kind of whack. You're right. But do you really want to come to work in your own shirt and get it dirty? Like this is a dusty ass place. That's my logic here. I don't care if the shirt's cool or not. Like, I'll put it on. I'd rather get this busted up than like my nice shirts or shirts that I like to wear. And he didn't have a response for that. But teach their own. All right, let's see. I'm gonna do my classic little startup. Stop talking about my fucking self. Start talking about the real issues. That's right. No. All right. Oh, also, not me and I don't talk about the weather too often, but today was a little bit of a cloudy day, but it was nice until it just started raining and raining and raining. It stopped now for the sake of the podcast, so I appreciate it. Thank you, God. But it definitely rained on me on my drive. That was not fun. And then I also got rained on a little bit to the car and to my house, to my home. But that's okay. Overall, not too bad. We can take some rain. Okie dokie. All right. From the Associated Press, China removes its outspoken foreign minister during a bumpy time in relations with the U.S. So this is about Qin Gang, which was, I should say, the foreign minister of China. And essentially, he just got disappeared, kind of. They initially had said, oh, he's sick, he has some illness, and that's why he's out. But then they replaced him with his predecessor, Wang Yi, this week. And essentially, it was a clockwork thing. He was erased from pretty much all any kind of registry. You couldn't search for him online. Like, where's, Quinn Gang? Like, you just didn't know. Like, the dude was gone. And we still don't know where he is. But essentially, Chinese, top, government are just moving on. They're done with it. They've been fielding questions, and essentially they're saying check the website, which more or less, like I said, is Quinn Gong has been replaced with Wang Yi. So it's very awkward. It's very like, oh, what's going on here? And I'll get to what is believed to have happened in the next article. But it seems like a lot of news publications are kind of playing mum to that and just kind of focusing on just things at hand, which is like, okay, Quinn's gone, Yi's in. What does that mean? I don't know. To me, it feels like it's more of the same. They do reference in this article that Quinn Gang is kind of the guy who sparked the Wolf Warrior diplomacy, which is just a fun, cute thing. Essentially, it's a very like nationalistic movie franchise. It actually goes pretty hard. Excuse me. I've only seen like clips and like read and listened to synopsis of the movie, but it's pretty good. It carries. It feels like any kind of like action movie that you'd see in the States. But it's very like, obviously like pro China. It's very strong China vibes. And Quinn kind of used that into what the ministry did, and it seemed effective, at least amongst China. It was received very well, like, oh yeah, that's cool, we are Wolf Warriors, yeah. So that's kind of a vibe. I thought that was kind of cute. And in terms of, I don't know, Yi, they talk about his shit too. It's a honk shoe. It's Snoresville. I want to get to the juice. So from Business Today. Where is China's foreign minister Quinn Gang? Speculations rise amid affair rumors. So, Gang, 57 years old. He's married. But apparently... Oh, they do say he had previously disappeared from public view for 8 days over the Lunar New Year holiday. Once again, more yada, 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 yada. Where is it at? I highlighted it. According to the New York Times, rumors about Quinn Gang having an affair with journalist Fu Zhaotan might be the reason behind his absence. Responding to these rumors, a foreign ministry spokesperson said on July 17th, I have no understanding of the matter that you've raised. Now, another thing that kind of bolsters this theory is that Fu also has been missing. And, she's been in the wind as well. So it might be that both of them have kind of been quote unquote dealt with. Not like, I don't think they're dead or anything like that. But essentially just removed from their station in office while they kind of have this cool town. This is something that's not too, what's the word I'm looking for? It escapes me. I'm having a Mitch McConnell moment. It's not too rare. It's not too, like, this is kind of like standard operating procedure when a big kerfuffle kind of takes place in government in, China. They go, oh, okay, well, we're going to just deal with it right here, right now. No questions asked. And to some extent, I kind of like that, not going to lie. I don't know, maybe it's toxic, maybe it's problematic. But at the same time, also, it's very uncool. It's not good. I don't think that it's actually, like, a good thing. I would want to get, like, black bagged. Granted, at the same time, this is dealing with their issues, how they deal with them. I try not to be too critical, especially, living in the imperial core that is America. But yeah, it was some tea. I wanted to talk about it, and we've kind of bogged down, haven't gotten to it. So I figured, hey, let's do some China covers. Let's talk about it. Let's squeak to that. All right. Now, this is probably the article of the day, maybe of the week, I dare say. But this is from Yahoo News. UFO hearing. Whistleblower testifies government absolutely has possession of non-human craft. Okay. And that was, it's more or less David Grusch leading the charge here. But there was also two others who, stepped up to, a congressional or a committee of, a House Oversight Committee hearing. Now, I want to split this up into two parts, and I feel like it's important. I also want to preference this as well as I do not want to yuck anyone's yum. This has been kind of a thing that's kind of circulating for, I feel like, a few months now, at least with David Grusch. And I haven't talked about it because to me, it just didn't feel like it had real legs. If I'm being honest with you guys, it still does not to me. But overall, I feel like the fact that we were talking about aliens is super fucking sweet. And I love that my friends and like I'm hearing like other people just mention it and talk about it. And like that's very fucking cool. But let's just go ahead and get into it. A former Pentagon intelligence official testified Wednesday that he was absolutely certain the government had possession of non-human craft. David Grusch, a former Air Force officer, said during a House Oversight Committee hearing that his information was based on interviews with 40 witnesses and that he knew where the material was being held. Grusch added that non-human I can never talk. Biologics, sure. Roast me in the comments. I don't fucking care. Were recovered along with the craft. I'm gonna call bullshit here. I gotta call bullshit. It's specifically on Grusch. At the end of the day, I think the conversation is important to have, and I love that we're having it at this level. But I just feel like this guy specifically, that motherfucker is not real. That's what I'm saying. That's how I feel. I feel like, yes, yeah, he is a part of this scene. You know, he is a Pentagon, level intelligence guy. But if you ask the Pentagon, they're like, look, we don't believe it. And it's like, of course, well, Isaiah, what are you saying? You're saying that the Pentagon would just admit this shit? But it's like, okay, here's my real thing. Here's my ground floor reasoning here. This guy has had plenty of opportunity leading up to this point, and now he's here right in front of the fucking, politicians right now. Where's the proof? Where's the evidence? And all he's telling us is like, well, I've heard from people who I can trust, but I can't actually offer you anything. And then when it goes to like talk about like, well, we have all this proof, the government's hiding it, the Pentagon's hiding it, they're not being real here. They're obfuscating things or whatever, and of course, Congress people are asking him, well, can you, speak further to that? Can you show proof? And he's like, oh, I can't show it in public. I can show it maybe in private hearings. I can really lay it out for you there. So it's just like, you're not giving us anything here. Like, this isn't real substance to me. So, something I did highlight here I wanted to talk about. Grusch said he feared for his life and faced professional and personal consequences from the government for speaking out, noting there was an ongoing whistleblower retaliation investigation into his treatment. He said he believed that the government first became aware of non-human technology in the 1930s and that there had been multi-decade campaign to disenfranchise public interest. Okay, that's fair. That's valid. I believe that, but it's just, yet again, throughout all of this, he's provided no proof. There's just no real proof. And it's like, well, but he said this on their oath. Okay, but I feel like the way he's worded it, he's pretty well insulated. And he won't drop his sources. And I just fucking hate, I cannot stress this enough, when a whistleblower comes and saying, I'm giving you semi-disclosure, and they're acting like they're doing you a fucking favor. It's like, no, motherfucker, you aren't. If you do not go full deep throat, don't talk to me. I don't want to fucking hear it. Don't blow the whistle. Just stay hidden. I don't want to fucking hear it. Because then, as far as I'm concerned, you're not real. You're an agent. You're an op. Like, if you do not give me everything you know, I don't care. I just don't think you're genuine. I fucking hate that shit. So that's the first part of it. And I feel like, don't get me wrong, I love that people are talking about this shit, but I just don't feel like there's any bite to the bark, And if you show me that, then I'm defending you. All of a sudden, I'm 100% in. I'm Scully, you're David Duchovny. But until then, boo. Like, you're wasting my time. You're wasting my fucking time. But there's another part to this. I want to get to that. Ryan Graves, which is a former Navy pilot. And then there's another guy. Oh, also, I should probably say what the UAPs are, right? Unidentified. I can never say it. I know it's in this article somewhere, but because that's something they talk about, right? Is what is a UAP? Essentially that's a UFO to us, but they prefer to say a UAP essentially saying like, hey, we don't know what this is, but like it is technology that is very advanced. It's very, relevant. Like we want to know what it is, but we just can't confirm it. Now I gotta look to see what is a UAP, which is really annoying. I probably want to just get, okay, here we go. Unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP. I'm just gonna say UFO. I hate UAP, but I understand the idea of like, hey, if you're a pilot, which essentially we're talking about graves here. Oh, and then there's also David Fravor, who's also a retired Navy pilot. They talk about their sightings, and they're saying that, hey, these sightings aren't rare, they aren't isolated. Okay, now this is the second part of it, and I'm way more interested in hearing about it. Like, you're going to talk about the tic-tacky things you see, this crazy shit that had technology we never, have seen in our, government, military, whatever. So, like, okay, that's very interesting. That's fine. I like the conversation about that. Hell, I love that the Congress is having a conversation about it because they're interested. And I'm sure this is something that they referenced in the article. This is kind of like a timeless thing. Congress has always been interested. Politicians, everyone, they give a shit about it. Shit, me too. I'm a skeptic to some extent, but when it comes to like aliens, when it comes to ghosts, I do have the believe it when I see a thing. And when it comes specifically to aliens, I'm like, it's a big universe. Like, to think that we're just one magic miracle and that's it, that's a bit far-fetched to me. I'm totally down to think, hey, there are other alien life forms out there. We know that at least there's some kind of like life out there, even if it's at like a bacteria level or whatever. So anything's game. Anything's possible to me. But I just think this Grusch guy is bullshit. And I do think a big takeaway, though, is like, hey, we want to make it safer for people to disclose. I think that's important. I think to report these sightings, it's important. Fear of reprisal, fear of like, oh man, people are going to think I'm kooky, crazy, whatever, if I say that I saw some crazy technology out in the sky. Like, no, you should have a space to be able to talk about that, for sure. But I do feel like the Grusch guy is definitely perping, maybe for a clout grift, what have you. If you think I'm wrong, by all means, I'm down to talk about it. And I think from like the Congress perspective, once again, love that they're getting into it and talking about it. And people have asked me, like, Isaiah, do you think it's a distraction? Do you think it's a deflection, a smokescreen? No, I don't. I think it's more simple than that. I think if you're in Congress and you're sweating just like I'm sweating right now, trying to come up with ways to like, fuck your own fucking state or country up, whatever, just so you can make some more money, what have you, extend your fucking reign in an office seat. You want a little break, right? And maybe you want to take a little scientific field day and you want to talk about some shit like this. I get it. I get you want to take a little safari day, a little free day. And, who fucking wouldn't? I like a pizza party too. So I found all of this interesting, and a lot of people have been talking about it, so I said, hey, I'll enter the conversation too. Even though I think it's kind of a little flimsy. Because once again, you gotta show me the alien ussy. I need to see it. Is it green? Is it gray? Like, what the fuck? We're asking the wrong questions. If I don't get pictures, get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. If you don't show me the money, if you don't show me the alien, we ain't talking about shit. Okay. Whew, this is going long. I'm sorry, guys. I feel it's going long. From NPR, 3 Marines found at North Carolina gas station died of carbon monoxide poisoning, officials say. 3 U.S. Marines found unresponsive in a car at a North Carolina gas station died of carbon monoxide poisoning, the local office said on Wednesday. Now, obviously, this is a pretty kooky, weird story, but also I need to add, too, that this is about Camp Lejeune. The Marines were, I believe, posted. That was the base that they were supposed to be posted at. And, they did die at the Speedway, at a gas station. That's very weird. That's very bizarre. But just a quick little soundbite summary of what happened at Camp Lejeune. From the 1950s through the 1980s, people living or working at the U.S. Marine Corps base Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, were potentially exposed to drinking water contaminated with industrial solvents, benzene, and other chemicals. Now, Camp Lejeune, if you're not familiar, has kind of become like this weird little sub meme over the years. Mainly because if you're like me, you've gotten like Camp Lejeune emails. Like, hey, you might be a person affected from Camp Lejeune. You have like settlement, blah, blah, blah. Click here. And it's usually like a scam thing. And so, even I've made a post like haunted by Camp Lejeune emails. But it's a real thing. And it's a super sad event that happened. Obviously very traumatic for the nation. Obviously, the people, involved in the state. I'm not sure how these 3 Marines are involved. I did want to say the names of them. The Lance Corporals identified by the U.S. Marine Corps at Tanner J. Kaltenberg. Identified by the U.S. Marine Corps as, Tanner J. Kaltenberg, 19 years old, Madison, Wisconsin. Merrick C. Dockery, 23 years old, of Potawatomi, Oklahoma, and Ivan R. Garcia, 23 years old, of Naples, Florida, were stationed at Camp Lejeune, 29 miles or 47 kilometers northeast of the gas station. They were motor vehicle operators with the Combat Logistics Battalion 2, Combat Logistics Regiment 2, and the 2nd Marine Logistics Group. Now, looking at this article, and I haven't seen or heard any reasons for like why they did this, or like any kind of motivation, but I did find that it was carbon monoxide poisoning, and yeah, it's just very eerie. And if I do find out any more information, I would love to come back and give you guys an update. But I was like, yeah, I definitely got to talk about it. This is just, it was weird, but it's also like, yet again, like Camp Lejeune's a meme, and you guys know me. I have a very strong shitposting background. So like this just stuck out to me. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be on the pod for sure. Okay. All right. I got one more article to cover. Sorry. It is a hot one. And it shouldn't be hot. It's so much cloud cover. This should be a cool day. It just rained. This is typical of Cincinnati weather, is that after it rains, it does not cool anything down. It just gets muggier. It's giving humidity. So the underboob sweat is just hot. It's just hard right now. Okay. I'm struggling. I'm struggling for my art. Okay. Which is this. Okay. Axios. Rejected plea deal. Period. That's not period. Oh my gosh. Rejected plea deal leaves Hunter Biden team fuming. So, I talked last week about Hunter Biden's plea deal. Essentially, he was going to get away. I shouldn't get away. He was going to plead guilty to tax evasion and then also the gun charge. He, registered a gun while he was knowingly doing crack. And he was going to be fine. He was going to be good to go. But Hunter Biden's legal team was angry and dejected late Wednesday after a plea deal to help the president's son avoid prison blew up in a chaotic 3-hour court hearing. Judge Mary Ellen Norica, who is a Trump-appointed judge. I love now, and maybe this is always kind of being a thing, but like you have to like just how like it's a politician, you have to say who appointed the judge. Like that's so relevant because it's like obviously that says who that person's supposed to more or less be, even though they're supposed to be arbiters of justice. But she rejected Biden's plea deal on tax charges. Essentially, because of the gun charge aspect of it, essentially there was a big miscommunication that really wasn't unveiled until we sat down with the judge and she starts peppering, both sides with questions. And essentially, there's this miscommunication from Biden's side, Hunter Biden's side, that it's like, look, the gun charge is not covered here. It's just the taxes. And they're like, what? No, we're supposed to have the gun charge covered and maybe even like any potential other charge. At least it's kind of, I've heard it worded that way from other publications, other kind of like podcast news places. So from the prosecution side, they're like, yeah, we're only doing the tax thing. You might get got for this gun thing and other shit. So they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then meanwhile, Norika is like, I don't even think this is constitutional. So essentially, she's telling both of them, make me a pitch, sell me on this, because right now I can't go along with it. It just feels like you guys want me to rubber stamp it. And now everyone's kind of mad, everyone's a little salty, but everyone wants this to kind of work out, I think. Because at the end of the day, let's just be fucking real here. This is a president's son. And if it wasn't a president's son, it was a senator's son or a vice president's son. And they just want to cover this motherfucker's ass. Like, at the end of the day, he should be getting done up for the fucking tax evasion. And yes, he should get done up for the fucking gun. If this was just an average black person on the street, they'd be getting buried. Shit, we all know what they did to Lauren, and we all know what they did to fucking Wesley. Like, goddamn. Like, this motherfucker is getting away with it, skating away with it. And essentially, you know, people are maybe mad along party lines, like, oh, well, this is crazy. But it's also crazy that, yeah, he is getting away with it. Not to side with the fucking Republicans here. It's definitely a cherry deal. But that being said, conservatives are kind of like just howling about this because I do think that there are 2 points that conservatives, the Trump administration, whatever, Trump team, I should say, their administration, their has-beens, they queue up 2 things. Biden is old and his son is dirty. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a tangent. I didn't cover this because it's technically a nothing burger of a news story, but it was funny as hell. In the middle of a House hearing, essentially Marjorie Taylor Greene, a favorite, a legend, she went to like, I don't know if she actually went to FedEx to get these shits done, but she got these like FedEx style like big printouts of like Hunter Biden. Just once again, Hunter Biden's cock is like just on the government floor, just like, and they're like, you know, she's just parading the shit while she's like asking questions to like an IRS guy, I think. Because essentially some IRS guys came out and said, oh, well, actually the tax shit, the government was involved. Like Garland was involved, blah, 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 blah. Like this wasn't fair or illegal. Even though I think not Barry Weiss, I don't know, some guy last name Weiss essentially was running the whole thing during Trump's administration. He's a Trump appointee. Joe Biden kept him on to continue the investigation against Hunter Biden for everything in terms of like the Ukraine shit that he was involved in, his job as a consultant. Also, just a general tax evasion. And this is what they came up with. Is like, look, this is the only thing that we should be pegging him on. And essentially these guys, the IRS guys are like, no, he was being railroaded, da 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 da. So there's definitely action. This is a whole fucking spaghetti ass of a mess. And I'm, you know, hey, we're watching with our popcorn. We're chilling. I just wanted to talk about it. That's all we got. That's the episode. Yeah. Okay. I gotta chill real quick. Let me cook. I'm sorry. Isaiah, Patreon.com. So Isaiah News. I will not space out. You will not walk me out of here. Once again, like Miss McConnell. If you know, you know. But Patreon.com. So Isaiah News. If you'd like to support financially. Also, as well, Isaiah News 1, gmail.com. That's for the feedback. All the socials, if you'd like to follow, I appreciate it. I really would love if you subscribe to the YouTube. That'd be great. Thumbs up, comments, all the stars. We appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.